Hello friends, last time I talked about maintenance and reliability. Today I would like to talk about maintenance strategy. What do you mean by maintenance strategy? When you have any organization, naturally to run the machines, to run the equipments, you have to have a maintenance department. But all the machines are not same. Some machines are simple, some machines are complicated, and some machines are, you can say, critical. Apart from that, where they are used based upon the applications, some may be safe, some maybe you can say having toxic fluids using. I mean, different type of machines will be there in any facilities. Because I am exposed to oil and gas industry, and I will take the example of any, you can say, refinery or petrochemicals. Here you have some single line machines, very big, some compressors, turbines, pumps also sometimes. So why they are critical? Because they are only having a single line equipment. Once it fails, the whole process fails. Apart from that, you have many machines which can neither be very critical nor you can say very highly critical, nor you can say very very simple. So these machines comes under the semi-critical category, and some machines you can say even if they fail, they are not going to have much impact on your process. When I talk about the impact means business impact. Means suppose if one of single machines is shut down for one day, so there may be losses of the production, and it may be terms of in the lakhs, in the crores, you can say in terms of dollars, maybe you can say $1 million, yeah, $100,000, $200,000, depending upon the type of operation and type of machines. So I talked about the critical machines, but critical machine doesn't mean that they will be only rotating machines. There may be some static equipments also. They can also be very critical. So first and foremost, to decide the maintenance strategy, you have to have a list of all the equipments, and then you have to classify all these machines in three categories. What we call it A, B, C, or you can say critical, vital, important, or different type of names are there. But in a simple way, we will classify all these machines in three categories. Now the question of maintenance strategy comes. So how would you decide the maintenance strategy? You have to consider any machine and about its process and the spare parts and the failure modes. Many factors are there. Probability of failure. So these are all things done in a meeting, brainstorming with some experienced people, and you can say the people from the plant, and then we list out how much production loss will be there if any machine fails, how much it is unsafe. Suppose some leakage may be there from the static equipment, some hydrocarbon leakage will be there. So not only it will be unsafe for the employees, but also unsafe in surrounding villages. What you can have this environmental impact. So we have some matrix about the risk of the failure, where we will have some impact, and then how much chances are there, how much probability is there of failure, that will bring out the risk. So in such a manner we classify all the equipments. If it fails, how much production loss, how much it is unsafe, and what are the implications regarding the spare parts, downtime, and all those things. In nutshell, I would say once your job is completed by defining the criticality, and in our maintenance jargon, or you can say in maintenance community, it is very well known as critical assessment of equipments. So this is the first step. This is the step you can take even if the project has not started. Suppose you want to start any refinery, or if you want to start any facilities, whatever, oil processing facilities or any petrochemical facilities. So when the project is imagined, when the equipments are identified, when the designing is done, at this project stage itself you can have the idea of criticality of the equipments. So it is not necessary that you should have a personally see the equipments and only then you have to assess the criticality. But knowledge of the what type of equipments are there, what type of your specifications are there, which type of facilities are there, that knowledge, that information should be there. Otherwise you would not know how it is going to impact. Although these will be helped by the experts, by the data, past data, experiences and all that, the criticality assessment is a skill which is practiced by some experts. So this is to be done. Based upon then you have a maintenance strategy. Already you know very well that there are what we call maintenance type of maintenance. Corrective maintenance, preventive maintenance, predictive maintenance, proactive maintenance, precision maintenance. There are different names. So I would not go different names with the viewpoint of type of maintenance, but I would go these type of maintenance with the viewpoint of maintenance strategy. When we talk about the maintenance strategy, I am not talking about only the rotating equipments or static mechanical equipments. I am talking about even electrical equipments as well as instrumentation point of view. What instrumentation point of view? Control valves, or you can say controlling systems, panels, PLCs, all those things. But mainly the instrumentation and electrical is supporting the mechanical equipments to run. So our focus will be first mechanical equipments. And also in the mechanical equipment, to emphasize my point here in this video, I will take mainly most of the time rotating machines with the viewpoint of the maintenance strategy. Otherwise, we would be taking this maintenance strategy looking all type of equipments. So another name is a safety criticality equipments. You can say other names are there for the instrumentation also. So there may be some changes in the maintenance strategy, but in general I am talking about the maintenance strategy with the viewpoint of once we categorized all these equipments in the ABC category, and these could be mechanical, electrical and instrumentation related. Now the things are how you decide the maintenance strategy. So maintenance strategy involves what type of skilled people would look into maintenance of these people. We should have a qualified engineers, technicians, experts, consultants to have the maintenance of these equipments. With that point of view, you have to spend a lot of money, and spending money is one of the factors what you decide the maintenance strategy. Apart from the reliability you want. Naturally, for the critical equipment or semi-critical equipment, you cannot have any compromise because it is directly going to affect your production. So, how do you decide the maintenance strategy? Maintenance strategy, when you are taking the name of preventive maintenance or predictive maintenance, these are the two main categories. Although many machines at the time of the specification, we have inbuilt monitoring of the machine. Although it is not related with the viewpoint of maintenance, but it is related with the viewpoint of safety of the machines. That's why we say that we make machines to trip so that it could not be run in an unsafe manner. Otherwise, it will go to the catastrophic failure, and there will be, you can say, so much damage to the machine as well as surrounding people, employees. There will be a lot of losses and damage resulting into the spare parts consumption. So the idea is that when we purchase the machines, for example, when we are purchasing compressor, a big compressor, multi-stage centrifugal compressor, I will take the example. Already we have systems for monitoring the health as well as the condition, and also that it should trip whenever any problem is beyond our control. What you call tripping in a safe manner. For that, most of the time we have temperature and vibration monitoring system. What do you call it? Generally, it was given by most popular company Whitney Nevada earlier days. Now most other companies are coming. So these people have installed some probes, some sensors, what do you call, on the machines with the viewpoint of the health monitoring and safety point of view. And these temperature vibrations, generally they are put in the you can say location of bearings, and these highly critical rotating machines, for example centrifugal compressor, I gave you the example, are with journal bearing. There you put probes, vibration probes and temperature probes, because these are the first parameters where if any problem is coming in machine, it will be indicated. So we have a systems. So in the systems we measure some parameters. So that is called a continuous online condition monitoring. So I was talking about the maintenance strategy. So maintenance strategy, when you are doing predictive maintenance, when you are doing condition monitoring, it is different from the preventive. Preventive is only when you have a schedule. Particularly it is done still, I would say, in the case of gas turbines. Gas turbines are generally used either to run any process equipment, for example compressor, pumps or any other equipment, and also to produce the power, because these are very big machines, very expensive machine, very complicated machines. So they are based upon the recommendation of the original equipment manufacturers, we call generally OEMs. We have a schedule for the preventive maintenance, or you can say you can call it also planned maintenance. For example, in the gas turbine you have a combustion inspection, hard gas inspection and major inspection. So they are scheduled to combustion inspection every 1 year and 1.5 year, depending upon your how you run the machine, in what condition you run the machine. Then comes hard gas path inspection, mainly the area where you want to see the internals related to the turbines and combustion related both together. This comes generally after approximately 4 years. Then comes major inspection. Major inspection means after 6 years. So what these people have done, they have said कि whenever combustion path inspection is taken up, you have to see these equipments, these components, these condition of spare parts and all those things, and they have a schedule, and from the OEM it is must. And also we people as a maintenance people are, you can say, holistically following it. It may be different depending upon your expertise and experience and how much you have a faith on the OEM regarding the maintenance, on yourself, on your team. There may be some differences of opinion about what should look into it, how much deteriorated is part, whether you should replace that part or not. For example, in combustion path inspection, you have a combustion liner. So many people, what they do, they just replace it and then send it for the repair. Some people say, okay, we should use only new one. Some people say that, okay, let us have those old repair blades, not new one. So depending upon the, you can say, decision making, it depends upon your, you can say, how much cost you want to how much you want to expend. So that and the condition of the running condition of the components also will decide. But one thing is very clear, that you have to have a schedule of the plant maintenance. That is why it is known as the preventive maintenance. Preventive maintenance for the critical machinery generally is not avoided, particularly in the gas turbines and also in sometimes steam turbines. But now the because of so much expertise and condition monitoring, people are saying why you should do the shutdown or inspection based upon some time period. In other words, what is known as a time waste maintenance. So why not you should replace the component, or you should take up the preventive maintenance when machine itself demands. So again, it is a question of how much you want the preventive maintenance and how much is condition monitoring and what type of equipment and where it is there. So most of the critical equipments, we will have the strategy of preventive and predictive maintenance both. Now I come to the semi-critical. Semi-critical means the machines having very important role in the production, like pumps, gearboxes, and centrifuges, agitators, which are, you can say, have important role in the production. But many times you will have either standby, or even if you don't have the standby, it is a simple equipment, so you have not to worried about too much about the maintenance. But even semi-criticals have this strategy of predictive maintenance and preventive maintenance. I have seen most of the companies have scheduled of the preventive maintenance doing every 6 months. Sometimes it happens that people are avoiding it and they are doing every year. But I have seen most of the semi-critical equipments are done, they are scheduled for the preventive maintenance. Now here is the difference of opinion. Many people say that our experience is that even after 6 months I don't find any problem in the equipment. Why? because they are already monitoring, having condition monitoring technology like vibration or thermography, or you can say motor signature analysis. That is different story whether you are measuring 15 days or every month. But they say that machine is good, then why should I take it in a preventive maintenance? Here I would say, even if you don't want to have a preventive maintenance based upon your condition of the equipment, for example, I will take centrifugal pump and it is not giving any problem, it is very healthy, vibration is very less, maybe in the 1 mm per second, or you can say even the performance is good. But I would prefer that if the schedule is there, you have to stop it, and you can have another equipment for the changeover, standby equipment for your production, and then you check around whether any looseness of the bolts of the, you can say, foundation bolts, what you call, or you can have a look removing after guard, you can have a look on the coupling conditions, depending on type of coupling, whether it is a rigid coupling or flexible, whether you have a rubber component and all that, you can have a look. I don't see that you should do anything which is invasive, means you have to open the coupling or something, or doing something like that where you need you can say opening of equipment. That you should not do. But at least whatever you can see visually by removing the guard and checking the foundation bolts. Yes, filter cleaning must. You might be having the suction filters, and also the instrumentation people can also check their PLCs, panel control instrumentation. They can do the testings. There is an opportunity. Generally you have a 1 day for the preventive maintenance of such equipments. If you have a skilled manpower, good people, they will go there and they will say, and it is always better to have the preventive maintenance of such equipment. So again, here you will have a preventive and predictive maintenance technology both. But I would add here that whenever you want to take the decision of doing overhauling or improving the equipment performance, or you can say you need to replace something or some problem you want to avoid, that you should only based upon the condition, not why you can say that so many years happened or so much how time already passed. My OEM is saying that no, you have to check the impeller of the pump or impeller of the compressor, for example. That I would not recommend. Why? Not only it will replace good components, but it can create the problem also sometimes after doing preventive maintenance. That is why in the maintenance strategy, whether you want to avoid any preventive actions, you have to be very, very clear. Strategy doesn't mean that you are now adapting preventive and predictive both, but what in it, how much detail you want the inspection, what components inspection you want, depending upon the type of equipment, whether it is a centrifuge or it is a valve or any instrumentation, how much invasion you want to do in the preventive maintenance, that you have to clearly written out and put in your SAP PM system from where you are getting the schedule, so that there is no confusion. And also I don't want that you should write general things. Okay, already it is good to write general things. But when you have written the general things, general you can say practices, general you can say inspection, general you can say cleaning and methodology for lubricating, how to lubricate, greasing, how much grease is to be done, all those things is written. But you have to also very clearly in the preventive maintenance what task list and task should be done on that particular equipment. You should be very lucid. I mean, the written document, good written document will decide how your people are working at the site. I'm not saying that it will happen in the first day or second day, but you can take the information from the documents. There are very books, there are many literature. You can have OEM's manuals and your experiences. Based upon that, you have to write a best document, and that is to be written not at the time of when already you have done the commissioning and the plant is running. That in the case of the project, that is to be done before you are in the field for the commissioning purpose. I mean, it is one of also the duty of the maintenance people to have written documents for the preventive maintenance, how to do the take the actions for the preventive maintenance for all these equipments. That is to be done before your project starts. In case of some people say that already I have a plant running for 10 years, I have also list, and we want to see whether our maintenance strategy is working or not, or they want to have some improvement, whether they should combine both strategy and how much time they should give to the condition monitoring resources and how much time and resources they should give to the preventive maintenance, that they want to reassess. So that could also be done. I'm not saying that even in the plant running you cannot do decision for the maintenance strategy. What you call it as a review of your philosophy. There is another term which is known as in maintenance philosophy. So maintenance philosophy and maintenance strategy you can review at any time, or you decide that let me improve the whatever maintenance, whatever way we are doing now, let us have some improvement. So in that case you can also decide the maintenance strategy, or you can review the maintenance strategy. But what I was talking about, that once you have a preventive maintenance schedule, you should also write task list, tasks and detailing of all those tasks in a very beautiful manner. It should be written in a very clear, concise and perfect manner. Only then the preventive maintenance will be successful. So as a strategy for the semi-critical equipment, you should also have the preventive maintenance, but avoid anything which is invasive, means replacing of any components, whether it is a bearing, mechanical seal, or sometimes you want to check the impeller. That you should not do what you call overhauling. If you want to take the any equipment for the overhauling purpose, there should be some region for the deterioration in case of performance, in case of any breakage or damage or deterioration in any components, starting from the mechanical seal to the bearing or any other components. So what I wanted to say, that you should avoid overhauling of semi-critical equipments based upon the time. You should not do it until unless it is needed. Now third type of maintenance strategy, you can say we call it corrective maintenance or breakdown maintenance. So although I would not prefer that you should allow any equipment to run till they get failed or they get damaged. But here also I would say that you should not be worrying about too much where you have a simple ordinary equipment. For example, there may be some chemical dosing pumps, small chemical dosing pumps, or you can say pumps for the water purpose, or what you call non-critical. So in the non-critical equipments you can have a strategy that you will not do any condition monitoring, any predictive maintenance, but you should have a clear-cut strategy what you will do if something fails. If something fails, either the component will fail or some equipment will be damaged totally, a motor will fail. So in that case, what will you do? Even if you don't have any preventive or predictive maintenance strategy, you should enumerate in case of failure what will you do. I will prefer that there is not too much money involved in replacing these type of equipments. So you just replace. As far as my personal opinion is that for the ordinary non-critical equipments you should have extra equipments. Whenever you have a problem, you just replace them, and then you can do whatever you want, overhauling, you can repair, or you can say whatever you want, or discard. So most of the cases, rotating machineries and static equipment, you can have a judgment based upon your experience whether to discard or replace or repair the components. But in case of the mostly instrumentation, the solution is only to replace. So there you have a clear-cut idea what maintenance strategy should you adopt for the equipments which are not making much impact either on the business or on the safety or on the reliability. Here I would like to make one point very, very emphatically. Even very simple equipment, small equipment, very small equipment, it doesn't mean that it will be treated as a non-critical. Even a small equipment, if it is a handling hydrocarbon, for example, it is handling condensate below your flare area, it should be treated as a critical. Or you can have semi-critical if you have you can say 2-3 standby also, 2-3 equipments for the same, but you cannot treat it as a non-critical, although it may be very small, maybe you can say 20 kilowatt, you can say maybe 10 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt. But this equipment, when it is treating hydrocarbon, you should treat it as critical. So in the criticality assessment, it is very, very important that you are not looking only very big machines, but you can also have a look on the small machines, although very simple with the point of view of the maintenance and upkeeping and changing the spare parts. But because it is handling hydrocarbons, so there may be very, very high repercussions if it fails, because it can lead to the fire, you can lead to, you can say, leakage of the hydrocarbon. So that's why you have to treat it as critical. So here the maintenance strategy may be discarding the equipment, but you have to monitor it. So maintenance strategy, you have to decide there should be preventive, there should be, you can say, change of equipment anytime, checking very thoroughly, and sometimes you can also decide condition monitoring of such equipments, but it will not be treated as a non-critical. So based upon the criticality assessment ABC category, I have correlated maintenance strategy. So generally 3 maintenance strategies are there: predictive maintenance, which include condition monitoring, And condition monitoring may be online, for example in case of big compressors and gas turbines, through Bentley Nevada systems, or through portable manner. You can measure every 15 days or every week such critical machines where you don't have the vibration probes or temperature probes or other parameters. In this all also I would like to say that nowadays the trend is that whenever you are deciding condition monitoring techniques or condition monitoring strategy, you should not consider only those parameters which are machine related. You can consider the parameters which are process related. For example, in case of centrifugal compressor, you have to decide the suction pressure, discharge pressure, pressure related to the mechanical seal, lube valve systems, pressures and temperature related to that also. All those things will also guide you in deciding what type of condition monitoring technology or technique you should adopt. For detailing of the condition monitoring technique, I would like to talk in another video because I cannot talk everything in one video. So here I am restricting myself only the strategy part. What type of maintenance strategy you should adopt. So my view is that I want to keep the things very simple, that maintenance strategy is directly related to the criticality of the equipment, and that you can do as an exercise, and it is a very necessary exercise. You cannot say ki, no, it will be okay. So for that, for the green project, for the new project, you have to decide at the time of the selection of the equipments, at the time of, you can say, pre-commissioning, before pre-commissioning. And for already running plant, you can have a review. It doesn't mean that whatever you have not done in the past, you cannot do you cannot do now. Although I am saying that every plant, whether it is a pharma, whether it is a power or any process industries, already people have some well-known maintenance practices. But these maintenance practices mainly are guided by the OEM. And I want to state clearly here, please don't depend 100% upon the OEM. Because OEMs are only interested in selling the spares. They are not interested in the maintenance of the equipment. Because they are knowledgeable about the equipment, they design the equipment, they know how it will perform and how it will inform because of their past feedback. They have a lot of data of their feedbacks. They also use it in improving the design of their equipment because they want to keep their brand. But it doesn't mean that they know about the maintenance. So I would repeat here again, maintenance is to be done by your people, not by the OEM. OEM is a assisting expert, but the actor for acting, for doing, you are the person, or your team is responsible, and your team must know each and everything about the equipment. OEM can guide you, but they cannot decide for you, because their interest after selling the equipment is to sell more and more spare parts, and more spare parts only they can sell when you are making a lot of failures. Sorry. So what I would say, that you take the help of the OEM, but deciding maintenance strategy, deciding what type of actions you have to take in the preventive maintenance, what type of techniques or technology or condition monitoring technique you should adopt for your equipment, semi-critical or critical, this is to be the judgment is to be taken by you. So for even new projects and for the running plants, The maintenance strategy is very, very important. You can review it if you are already running very successfully all the plants. And I have a belief the most of the equipments, plants, most of the industries, they have their excellent maintenance team. But there is always scope, improvement. Are there available from the OEMs, also from the software providers. They can help you in having more reliability and availability. So you should get exposed to them. You can change your strategies. You can have some more information what type of maintenance you should adopt for that particular equipment, and what additional tasks you can take, whether really it is going to be helpful or not. That could be decided. You can review it, because technology changes, design changes, maintenance practices changes, people change. I have noticed the very big phenomenon nowadays. The experienced people are going and new people are less inclined in going into detail into the maintenance. I am not saying it is just general statement, but this is my feeling, because maintenance is mostly taken at you can say something not the job of done to be by the very good engineers, design engineers. I may be wrong, but what I would say, if you want to have your good maintenance strategy, first you decide based upon your criticality of the equipment. Criticality will be decided by the production, loss, safety, and how much reliability you want, how much you want to spend on the spares. And after deciding the criticality, you have to assign what type of techniques you want in the condition monitoring, in the predictive maintenance, whether overhauling, whether you have a good central workshop, repair, refurbishing, and how much you are dependent upon the OEMs for the scheduled maintenance, condition based maintenance, what type of tasks you will take, and what equipment you will take it as a let us run. Whether they fail or not, we will not have a too much worry about this. So this all will be decided what type of maintenance strategies you are fixing for equipment, type of equipment, whether it is a rotating machinery or static mechanical equipment, whether it is a electrical equipment, motor, generator, or transformers, as well as for the instrumentation. For the instrumentation, what I would say, mostly preventive maintenance plant and replacement should be based upon the time. Generally it happens. There are only few methods where you can say that you want to monitor. So all these things should be taken into consideration. I think I have elaborated too much, and I would like that you people should comment, and the objective is only to have a conversation with my maintenance people in these all videos. And it is not only restricted to the only maintenance engineers. There could be reliability engineers, inspection engineers, engineers from the design of the machines, OEMs engineers. Everybody is welcome, as far as it helps in running the equipment with less resources. As we talk about, mainly with the larger objective that our resources are limited. So we would like to have a less and less resources and more efficient and more performing equipments. That is the objective of maintenance. And keeping this objective in mind, all these things we are going to discuss, and idea is to have a conversation and interactive. How could it be more interactive? Just please write the comments, see whether you understood or not, and whether you want any, you can say, more discussion, or you can simply also say that it is not good, it is useless. I don't mind, because I am at this stage that I would like to talk more and more to my people. My people means my maintenance community engineers, so that they can feel more confident when they are handling their own equipments. Thank you very much. That's all from my side today. Thanks.